four corners of the earth is that we take communion at least once a month. We can take it as often as we would like, but we usually do it uniformly as a church once a month at the top of the month. But the Bible says tarry. If everyone can't be there, sometimes we have to move it to a time in which everyone can participate, because it's important that we commune as a church. That's a command from the Most High through Christ until we're sitting at sup with Christ. If we don't commune, we're not within the body. We get severed from the body, and eventually we'll be separated. The communion keeps us together. I'm going to show you this. Now also, it allows us as a communion to deal with offenses. You cannot take communion if you're having an issue that you haven't settled amongst brothers and sisters. So it allows you to deal with issues from week to week so that you don't form any hatred in yourselves between you and another brother or sister. Because if we hate the body or hate our brother or sister, we hate Christ. Now I wanted to mention something. And it's a little, believe it or not, it's a little more tough for us in this day, being closer to the time, than it was for those that were with the disciples. It's way tougher. They didn't have to worry about things being chemically and medically induced into certain emotions that would cause offenses outside of their environment. You understand? They wasn't dealing with a social network where everything is about right now and people attack each other so much that it becomes mainstay, and they begin to develop those same habits amongst the people they frequent. You understand? So I understand when Christ said that we would have a heightened level of offenses in the end day, or in the time we're in, as a sign that we're near the end. Read that real quick in Matthew 24 real quick. So we have to be very careful when we begin to feel something negative against anyone. We have to be very careful. Understand when we feel that, that's something in us. It don't have nothing to do with the other person. All right? Read that real quick.
St. Matthew chapter 24 verse 10. And then shall many be offended.
Now when I say it have nothing to do with the other person can be dead wrong. But you can control your spirit. That's what I mean by that. You can control your reaction to what someone is doing to you, or trying to draw you into the wrong place. We can control that. Read that again.
St. Matthew 24 verse 10.
Yes.
And then shall many be offended.
Then shall many be offended.
And shall betray one another.
And that leads to betrayal. Now that betrayal sometimes it's not on purpose. Sometimes it's just a reaction towards someone who you feel offended you. Now you don't respect them to the point of defending them or helping them. You'll betray them with your actions by pulling back your spirit when it comes to how to deal with a brother or sister. Or when an opportunity comes to save a brother or sister, you'll just stay quiet. You'll just be complicit to the harm that's coming on them. And it all starts with how we feel about each other. If you don't care about a person, then you'll be like, well, whatever happened to you, that's on you. We're not supposed to be like that. Right? And there's another level of offense that I've noticed, is that we're living in a time in which we need to be corrected. That when correction or constructive criticism come, people take that as an offense, to where we can't even be corrected no more. If someone come to you with advice for betterment in the spirit, it's not an attack. You understand? We can take it constructively, and if it apply, we help ourselves with this. Because sometimes those on the outside of you can see things you can't see. And that's what a body is. A body helps each other. So if we're so close to the point where we can't receive any level of correction, then that impedes our ability to grow spiritually. So we have to be able to accept constructive criticism and don't think someone is attacking them or someone just don't understand them or whatever the case is. When someone is giving you information for the betterment of your spirit, you ought to look at it as, okay, this is my brother or sister in Christ. They're looking out for me. I don't see it right now, but I'm still going to listen to this and I'm still going to take it in. Because maybe this is what would have been stopping me from reaching whatever spiritual goal I've been trying to accomplish. If I had it, then I would be there already. So we have to be able to take constructive criticism amongst each other without feeling someone is attacking them. That's why the Bible says many shall be offended. And I'm going to tell you why we're offended. That's a curse. The Bible gave a curse to the woman, which was what? A sorrow shall be multiplied, right? That means when she starts worrying, her worrying is compounded, multiplied beyond the worry of a man. It tells you that in Genesis, that her sorrow shall be multiplied. But what have they done within our system? They have turned everyone into women. Not that women are bad, but when women get into their emotions and let their emotions control them and guide them, it's inordinate. It's unbalanced. They've turned the whole world that way, including men. So now when you speak to a man like a man, he gives you a woman response because he's emotionally unstable. Instead of taking criticism as a man, he becomes emotional. The Bible says this would happen. Especially since we're going into Judah, especially with the men of Judah. Because the Most High knew and prophesied that Judah would need to stand first. So they aimed towards the Judite men and turned them into women. Because these are who's going to lead the earth. And if we can't take constructive criticism in our captivity, in the lowest part, we're the lowest on earth right now. If we can't take criticism now and constructive criticism for embetterment, we're not going to make it. So I'm speaking to the men first. Right? Read the prophecy concerning what would happen to the man.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 12.
Read it.
Isaiah 3 and 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors.
Children are their oppressors.
And women rule over them.
And what?
And women rule over them.
And women rule over them. So women are in position to raise the men now. That was prophesied. So it's natural that young men are growing up with women tendencies and women emotions. They didn't learn the emotions of a man because the man wasn't around. So they react to things the way they seen their mother react to things. So now they get into a scenario in which they're dealing with brethren now, men now. They feel that when someone tells them something, it's an offense. Or someone don't understand them. Because that's how they seen mommy react to the situations. And women do come around, even though they'll say something or feel something immediately. Eventually they'll examine it and say, well, okay, now I can see it. But it don't stop them from talking and saying all the things they're feeling just to get it out at that moment. Men are not supposed to be like that. You understand? Men are not supposed to be women. So we understand the curse is on us. That's the first step into what? Moving out of that spirit. You're not under mommy no more. You're being called to lead. So being called to lead, you have to put your emotions on the side and reason as men. Okay? Or you're going to be taken. They've totally womanized and feminized the whole earth on purpose. That's the first tactic before you're taken down. It's easier to take down women and children than men. So they just made the men into women. So that now, instead of you thinking tactfully together spiritually, you're sitting there and gnawing at each other and arguing at each other like a bunch of little women. That's what we've been doing. So understand that going forward, we're going to speak to men like men. And guess what? We're going to speak to women like women of the Most High. In the Spirit. And when we give constructive understanding, and when we receive constructive understanding and wisdom, we take it. So this is not just that way. It's this way too. Because when we start cutting off each other and not understanding each other, the Spirit of the Most High will not abide. They want us clamoring at each other, fighting each other, arguing at each other while they planning at the top to destroy us all. So that's what I wanted to go into. To understand that we can't be walking on eggshells anymore. Okay, we can tell someone like it is, and we hope that they understand it's through the Spirit of the Most High and for their spiritual embetterment. And not say, well, listen, I don't know whether or not I should constructively tell this person this or tell them that because of how they may feel. That politically correct garbage is what destroyed our people. They made it where we can't correct each other anymore. So that walking on eggshells got to stop. Where we can't, now we don't have to offend anyone, but we should be able to tell someone in the spirit of meekness what's going on, and they take it in the spirit of meekness and constructively build together. Right? Because many offenses shall come. Christ says, as we get closer to his coming, we're going to be more and more offended with each other and against each other. And I'm not talking about people in the world. Christ was talking about those in the church. Those that knew the truth. We're going to betray each other. We're going to give up each other. Why? Because our little incidents we have amongst each other. Not being able to correct them. Not being able to correct ourselves and deal with each other. When the time comes, we're going to turn our back on our own people. Based on these incidents. And I can see it. I can clearly see it. And I can take an example of people that I've known and walked with, and that would say, listen, I'll die for you. I know you'll die for me. And now that love has turned into bitter hatred. The same people that I've sat, just like I'm sitting amongst you. So I know it can happen. Even amongst us.